Pooh's Grand Adventure, The Search for Christopher Robin. It was the last day of summer in the 100-acre wood. Pooh and Christopher Robin were having a grand time playing on the enchanted hill. Christopher Robin had some important news, but he wasn't quite sure how to tell it to Pooh. Finally, Christopher Robin said, "Pooh, if you ever need me and I'm not around, you must remember this. You're braver than you believe, and stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think. And what's most important to know is that even if we're apart, I shall always be with you." The next morning, Pooh rushed out to play in the leaves and found a honey pot. Of course, he wanted to eat all the honey right away, but he wasn't sure if he should, so he set off to ask Christopher Robin. But Pooh couldn't find Christopher Robin. Instead, he found Piglet high up in a tree, squeaking with fear. "Whatever are you doing up there, Piglet?" asked Pooh. "I'm learning not to be afraid of heights," Piglet explained, just as he started to fall. Tigger tried to bounce up to catch Piglet, but his tail wasn't strong enough for such a big bounce, or so he thought. Luckily, Piglet fell right into Tigger's arms. Pooh went to see Rabbit, but Rabbit didn't know where Christopher Robin was either. Rabbit spotted a note stuck to the honey pot, but he couldn't read it because it was covered with honey. Owl didn't let that stop him. He read around the honey. "The note is from Christopher Robin," said Owl. "He's gone away to a terrible place called Skull. He needs our help." Pooh decided to rescue Christopher Robin. Owl drew a map of how to reach him in the eye of the skull beyond the Forbidden Mountains. Piglet didn't like the sound of that. "Are there monsters there?" he fretted. "Oh, thank you, I nearly forgot," Owl said, quickly adding monsters to his map. "There are heffalumps, woozles, jaguars, and the fabled Skullosaurus." No one knew what a Skullosaurus was, including Owl, and everyone was afraid of it. Still, for Christopher Robin's sake, his friends set off to save him. They crossed the bridge from the 100-acre wood into the great unknown. Before long, Pooh said, "I wonder if those rather forbidding-looking things up ahead might be the Forbidden Mountains." But Rabbit did not trust his eyes. "We must follow the map," he declared. Soon the friends were completely lost. They found themselves near a dark cave. Piglet looked up. Skull, he stammered. His friends suddenly realized they had reached Skull Cave. Pooh rushed inside to save Christopher Robin. The others hesitated outside. Then they heard a horrible rumbling. "The Skullosaurus!" Piglet squeaked. "It's getting closer." "And hungry," added Tigger. Without another thought, they all rushed into the cave. It was a huge place with tunnels leading everywhere. Pooh took a wrong turn, slipped, and rolled away from his friends. The shining, crystal-covered walls echoed with more terrible rumbling. "The Skullosaurus got Pooh!" Tigger cried. Then Rabbit spotted an opening high in the cave. "It's the eye of the skull," he called. "We must rescue Christopher Robin for Pooh's sake," said Eeyore. "That is, if anybody has any idea how to get up there." Rabbit looked at the map. "This is useless," he said in disgust. "I'm not smart enough to figure this out." But after a moment, Rabbit came up with a plan. "Tigger, you bounce Piglet up to that ledge, and Piglet, you toss that vine to us," he said. Tigger didn't think his tail was strong enough for the bounce. Piglet was afraid of bouncing that high, but they knew they had to do something to save Christopher Robin and Pooh. And what do you know? The plan worked. Christopher Robin's advice to Pooh was true for all of them. Rabbit was smarter than he had seemed, Tigger was stronger, and Piglet was braver. The friends reached the eye of the skull and found Christopher Robin. Or actually, he found them. But Christopher Robin was confused. "I wasn't in any danger. I was just in school," he said. Then a horrible growling rumbled from deep inside the cave. "Oh," Piglet sobbed, "now the Scolosaurus wants to eat us too." Christopher Robin shook his head. "I know that sound," he said. Christopher Robin lowered a pot of honey into the cave. When he pulled it up again, the pot was empty of honey and full of bear. The rumbling had stopped. The noise of the Scolosaurus had only been the grumbling of Pooh's tummy. In fact, all the things the friends had been afraid of didn't seem scary any longer, now that they were together. Pooh told his friends about being alone and afraid in the cave. Only one thing had made it better. He had remembered what Christopher Robin had said to him. "Even if we're apart, I shall always be with you." Pooh put his paw on Christopher Robin's shoulder and said, "And I shall always be with you."